Good morning, guys, and welcome to the first market check of the year brought to you by Because Bitcoin. Welcome, guys. It's just as surreal as, having the last show of the year, the last time that we were on. And as you guys can see, Bitcoin gave us plenty to talk about for our first show of the year. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, the rinses that we've had on it, as well as altcoins, of course. And we are having a bit of a red day in equity land as well. So an interesting backdrop, and I'll set the stage for it in just a second, guys. But of course, you guys know me as Tommy Snorlax, also joined by Max, Tucker, and Jackus. Welcome, guys. Happy New Year to both you guys as well as our audience. A reminder that there is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about these markets, but also no audience for such a show. And real quickly, before we get cooking and sharing that alpha with you guys, we always appreciate when you guys smash that like button. And it is the first day of the year, so I'm expecting you guys to smash that like button. No caressing today. Smash the like button before we get started. Of course, we'll bug you again, but we love when you guys enjoy our content and engage. And hopefully you guys take something away from it as well. But yeah, Happy New Year, guys. Let's talk about some markets. About an hour before New York session opened, we got a huge wipe on Bitcoin, one of the largest flushes that we've had in really, I think, over a year for open interest. But one of the things that we mentioned to our Discord members over the weekend was that crypto open interest had reached all-time high levels, not in the native, not just through native traditional crypto derivatives, but also through products like the CME. And in particular, on January 1st, we had a huge drive in open interest kick off. And so what we've really seen from this move was just a complete incineration of everybody who tried to pre-position for the ETF long per se. About 10 days before the event, we had very elevated funding, and sometimes that's how it transpires. You get these leverage flushes. But right now, funding looks healthy again. So will it be a case of Bitcoin, V recovering back to the highs after taking out all the leverage degens and going to 50K? I'm sure that would be quite painful if you were long into this week and we did V recover the dip. Or do we just maybe chop around here for a bit longer, carve out some structure and, maybe a bit more stability in the market? But I'll be honest, guys, I'm kind of thinking that this might be recover. We'll see. I'm sure we're going to talk about it and debate it live on the show. Got some absolutely gnarly wicks on altcoins. It was not a good day to be leveraged long. That is, I mean, if you caught a leverage short, congratulations. That was one of the better moves of volatility we've had in the last few weeks. So let's see what Bitcoin does next. Equities. I mean, we are down in equity land. Whether this is probably a dip for buying or not, that's also something that we're going to debate. I've been kind of vocal about the fact that I think that equities probably blow off the first 2 weeks of the year. And I still think that can remain the case, even though we do have a bit of a red day. And especially looking at some of these large cap individual stocks like Tesla down 4%. You are seeing maybe a little bit of weakness here on some individual stocks, but I think indexes as a whole are probably still supportive for higher prices. But welcome, guys. Happy New Year. I mean, we really, we've had, I guess, a show or two in between, but this feels like the kickstart, getting back from the holidays. It's good to talk markets with you guys again. And great to talk markets with the audience, guys. Welcome. Would love to know what y'all are seeing in the markets today after, a pretty volatile move to start the year.
I mean, quite the wipe, man. Quite the wipe. I mean, this is what I was watching. When was it? I guess it was back here. On Friday before the weekend. I was watching this order block right here, and we tapped it perfectly and then ripped. I mean, you could say we retested it, but I mean, this was just a demon wick, and we got it on a lot of altcoins like Solana, especially. We had this daily fair value gap, which we just nuked right into and bounced pretty hard out of. We got down to like $85. That was like a 21% wick in like an hour candle. So I mean, that's pretty gnarly. I don't know how much more we need. This open interest like indicator thing, it's okay. It's not perfect. But if it'll pop up, yeah. But I mean, it did show a pretty good wipe. I mean, on ETH in total, it's like 16%, at least from the high, 16% was wiped. But Bitcoin looks a little more gnarly on the OI side, I will say. Let's see, this was like 18% wipe. So I don't know. I mean, I agree. I think a lot was taken off the board. I think there's a ton of headline risk, especially this week with the ETF and whatnot, and what the Matrix port guys were doing. Like, the day before they said we're gonna go to 50K imminent approval, and then today they're like, you know what, our deep in-depth analysis and whatever is saying that we're gonna get rejected, and then I don't really know that that was like the catalyst for this. Like, I think this is kind of going to happen either way. Um, I mean, maybe it kind of started that, but once this thing, I mean, it's just a snowball downhill, right? Like this leverage flush is it was kind of in the charts, I think. I mean, I wasn't short for it. Some people were, which was awesome, but yeah, this was quite the move to start the year. I would like to think that, I was saying last week to our Giga Chads that I think we need to put in some price action below the yearly open, and I would rather that be right off the bat than later in the year. If we are going to have another 12-month green candle, I would rather the wick be put in early in January than later in the year, obviously, right? So we put in some PA below it. I've you can do 12-month candle analysis and go look at having year wicks to the downside and measure percentages and whatnot, and we can do that later in the show if we want to, and I've done that myself. But yeah, I'm kind of glad this has happened already, but it might not be over, right? There is a lot of headline risk, like I said. If they come out and deny this thing, then and push it back to the deadline being March, we'll probably see more downside. I'd be shocked if we didn't see more downside, like super locally, right? Maybe backfill some more of that wick. I don't know that we necessarily get below it. I guess we might if we get a denial, but either way, I would expect a bullish rest of January starting next week if we do get denied, honestly, because the speculation is what drives the market, right? If we do get denied and they say, oh, the next deadline's March, well, people are just going to continue to speculate on, they want to be long for that approval, right? So I don't know. A lot of headline risk, a lot of different catalysts out there, but pretty good wipe to start the year that I'm actually pretty pleased with. So, congrats if you had limit orders set on altcoins. I know some I know Jackus, you were talking about LDO. That is just a crazy wick, man. Look at that thing. Oh,
Yeah.
geez. 30% almost. So yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I mean, what's even more amazing is not the wig. Like the wig was like actually on LDO, it was not as bad as on many other alts, which had like -30, -30% on a day. But it's the buyback there, that's insane.
Look at that buyback, man. This
Yeah.
is buyback right here. I mean,
Yeah.
that where did this start from?
Probably the strongest buyback in the market, isn't it? I'm still checking like all the charts. Jesus.
Look at that thing. It nuked 22% and then it ripped 57 in
Yeah.
the same 4-hour candle.
They wouldn't
Unreal.
let you in though, the exchanges, because the exchanges were logging at the time live, and there wasn't really much chance to get in. So, but still, insane nonetheless, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really hoping this kind of line in the sand can continue holding for ETH, man. We've come down and tapped it a few times now.
Quite too many times.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, too many times. Yeah. So I don't know. We probably need to chill for a little bit. We probably just need to, do some of this action and then maybe go up, but we'll see. It all does kind of hinge, at least locally in this week, on the ETF. So
Yeah, like as I said, many times, my exposure to ETH is like by LDO and a few others, and just amazing because ETH hasn't even started to move up yet, and LDO is 50% up for my entry, so that's amazing. I was also saying it was lagging a little bit ETH, and it's a higher beta to ETH. So I still do expect, the moment ETH goes to 3,600, which in my opinion is really only a matter of time, then LDO must be trading around $8 or above, So
Yeah,
yeah,
I found a nice fractal for ETH.
geez. Yeah, I'm also like holding, for example, Magic, right? If if you see the daily wick, it's just like insane. That's why I keep on saying to people, guys, you like having daily invalidations is the most important thing in my opinion. For like I've been in the market for so long, and once again I can see people making good money on lower time frames if they can find their way. But personally, it's a tough battle for me, and I decided to step away from that. And having daily invalidations is very good because we well hopefully we we have lives, right? I definitely do. And when you are out, playing football, being with your girlfriend or friends or whatever, right? You cannot check the markets all the time. Having daily invalidations leaves you with a nice amounts of time when you just wait for the daily close. And as you can see, for example, on Magic, if you zoom out, just on the like scaling, not time frame, just scale in on in, not out.
Oh, in.
Yeah. So you know, if you look at a daily candle, look how thin it is right now. But look at that wick, right? So it, and I expect some portion of these wicks to get filled for sure. But once again, if I have daily invalidations, nothing has been invalidated, I can sleep well, especially in spot. I do not have to stress out my positions. Like if I was trading lower time frames, right, like H1, H4, well, today all of my positions would be nuked. Which, by the way, is also the reason why I think we do not go back below those lows, right? On many of these alts, because really the only people that got filled down there were market makers and people with stink bits. So
I see 10K in the chart. I'm just saying.
10K
I see
for
10K chart.
For
It
ETH?
exists on the chart, therefore it must go there.
You mean for ETH, Will?
That's a good point, Tucker.
Yeah.
ETH or BTC?
We haven't looked at that in a minute. Oh no.
What is it doing
Sorry,
today?
guys, a little under the weather, but I'm here.
Ooh, Janet.
Janet is here.
Yeah.
Yannette Yellen.
Got the whole squad here today.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
10K Lido.
Dude, here's the thing with
Thank
ETH
you.
BTC. Here's the thing with ETH BTC. It's possible that we deviate and make another new low, but we are within that bottoming region. We really are. Like maybe it's down a little bit lower, but this is that area, and I'm confident of that. I see a lot of people pretty confident we're going to get like 0.03, 0.035. I do not think that level is coming, not even close. I mean, I suppose depending on what happens with the spot ETF, like we can all speculate that there will be a knee-jerk reaction down and then maybe it reverses from there. But what I'm seeing is high time frame signs of a bottom accumulation range forming. And if you pull up the RSI, Tucker, you can see that there's bull divs being printed right now. It's just going to be choppy and grindy.
The thing
Look
is,
at that potential bull div forming right there, man. Unless literally the floor gives out, we should eventually pivot off of this level. And yeah, I mean, I would anticipate that we print a nice little bull div.
It's a
But-
prolonged manipulation by the market makers. That's all this is on ETHBTC. Look at the Bitcoin dominance, man. How the structure there is even more cleaner, and we just had a market structure break on the daily, even on the weekly though, right? Like the market structure break is clean there, but if you're gonna go on the daily or like 3D or so, 3D daily, you will see 3D is pretty clean, 3D, and
What-
you will see that market structure break and supply retest there. And I
Yeah,
think
but
just okay, we'll
go
go
ahead,
on.
go ahead. No, go and finish. Go and finish. My bad.
No worries, go for it. Well,
Somebody cook.
No, I just want to throw
we
it in
we
there.
all want to cook.
Everybody's
It's the new year.
everybody's
many-
spent
too
too
much
much time
action.
away from the screens, man.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking over each other.
Yeah,
Everyone just
it's-
cook.
It's been a little while, but no, I just want to say I think like what it is people are thinking ETF this and ETF and everything's leaning on the ETF. I think the market maker is going to make it look like the ETF is the reason for price. Do people really anticipate that price went from 15K to 45K just because of ETFs, and they're just going to dump it back down because of ETFs? Like, I think people just aren't understanding the structure at all. It's always a constant conversation. I mean, you see it all over Twitter. I mean, I can name out some major accounts that keep on talking. What if ETF fails? What does it matter? What does it matter? Price and liquidity is already built to such a degree that ETF gets delayed more. Nobody gives a shit because ETF's coming out regardless. It doesn't matter if it's a week from now. It doesn't matter if it's 6 months from now. There's too many big players in the game, too many hands in the pot. Nobody's getting their hand out because everybody's hands got swelled up inside. They're all stuck in the honey pot. And now, eventually it's going to
I don't
happen.
think that the ETF, I don't think, but just to be clear, I don't think we dumped because of the ETF, FUD this morning, right? From whatever group that was, man. They're literally
sport.
they have no idea what the F they're talking about, man. They're
That's what I'm
literally
saying.
hedging their own tweets. It's literally clown world out there, man. Like it's literally clown world. That same account was calling for 50K Bitcoin by this weekend. And then they put out that FUD shit this morning, and there's no evidence to suggest that at all. Yeah, they came out and they're like, probabilistically, like, we polled the top 10 analysts at this group, and here's what they think. That's one thing, but to literally drop the news that they did after like 2 days ago saying Bitcoin's going to go over 50K by the weekend, they're a bunch of clowns, man. And I don't think that this dump had anything to do with that. This dump was a necessity. Funding was at peak bull market levels, and this flush is something that you see in very bullish conditions. People get frothy at the range highs. They try to chase a breakout, especially. I mean, how dangerous would it be to long a 45K Bitcoin on leverage right off of the yearly open, right when we had a new daily, weekly, quarterly, monthly, and yearly open all at the same time? I mean,
Well,
that's a little bit dangerous. That's a little bit dangerous. And Will, I agree with you, man. We don't need a spot ETF to be approved in order for the price to go up. I think that market conditions overall dictate the direction. And we've talked about this before. Just because there's a Bitcoin spot ETF and there's a vehicle for institutional flows to buy Bitcoin doesn't mean that they're just going to blindly ape all of their money into Bitcoin. The conditions have to be suited for that interest to flow into Bitcoin. Right? If it's a bad time to buy Bitcoin and they're not interested in the product, just because they can doesn't mean that they will. I think prices are going to go up right now because it makes sense from an economic perspective and from a market cycle perspective, not just because suddenly there's an ETF. I think it's a nice tailwind, but I agree with you, Will. I do.
Yeah, the ETF will ultimately, when the ETF comes out, it'll either mark a midpoint or a top, and that's a lot of people don't understand. It's not about ETF coming out; it's about liquidity building into ETF coming out, and understanding where we are on the chart once ETF comes out. And if we're at 120K and ETF drops, guess what? That might be the exit, right? That might be
Dude, I actually think it'd be more bullish for them to kick it down the road and say, yeah, we're actually going to push it back to sometime in February now, because then people will just keep speculating on it. That's fine. It doesn't need to be.
The speculation
I mean,
is what's driving price.
Imagine they just approved it today, though. I mean, it would be insane,
10K God
man.
candle. Yeah, we would 10K. But here's the thing that people are forgetting about the pump is that before price pumps, we need to pump up the likes on the stream. Okay, we got to pump these up, guys. This is the first stream of the new year. This has to set the tone for the rest of the year. There is more pressure on this stream than any other stream. Guys, we have a total of 165 people watching. We got 86 on Twitter. We got 76 on YouTube. Guys, I need you to just take one quick moment and hit that thumbs up button for us on YouTube and hit that heart button, hit that like button on Twitter. Guys, it does wonders for the algorithm. I want to get 2024 off to a rockin' start, and it's really in your guys' hands. I can't like the video for you guys. I can't comment on the video for you guys. You guys have to do it. So happy 2024. I hope everybody enjoyed their time off, but we're back to business, guys. We got to pump these likes up, and we got to pump them up aggressively. Guys, we're going to set some goals right now. All right, let's see what we're at on YouTube. We got 35 likes on YouTube with over 70 watching. That's not even half, guys. We got to get to 50 likes on YouTube, guys. There are 36 of you that have not liked the stream yet. Okay, 36 of you. We need 15. We need about half of you that haven't liked it yet to like it. So guys, if you are enjoying the content and you want to help us continue this rocket ship growth into 2024, please just take one quick moment, hit that thumbs up button for us. It really does wonders for the channel. And thank you guys so much for being here. Now, for the YouTube crew, the bar is a little bit lower for you guys because we're a little bit newer to streaming on Twitter, but we got 88 people watching on Twitter with 11 likes. Guys, that might be one of the more abysmal and embarrassing ratios of likes to viewership that we've ever seen, maybe in the history of existence of any streaming ever. Guys, let's see if we can pump that up to at least 25 likes. There are 88 of you watching live on Twitter right now. Just take one moment. It's so easy because you're already signed in. You just got to hit that heart button. There we go. I'm watching the number climb right now. There's 88 of you. Just take one quick moment, hit that heart button for us. Thank you guys so much for being here. We're so appreciative of your guys' continued support. But guys, we got to pump these numbers up. These are rookie numbers. We cannot be okay with rookie numbers. This is 2024. This is the year of the pump for likes and for crypto. But anyways, let's get back to the stream. I've got confidence in them, man. They're going to pump this shit up for us. But again, guys, Happy New Year.
Guys, the dragon's name is long. Okay, the dragon's name is long. What do you think about this deviation, bro? Here,
local deviation, bro.
Local deviation, bro. I mean,
local deviation.
You know what it looks like? If the bullish case to me is that Bitcoin just did what Solana did when it broke out from the range it was trading in around like $40 to $45. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but Sol had like a 25% wipeout right before it broke out and went even higher. You probably have to go to a more granular time frame to be able to see it, but I do think that's the bullish case for Bitcoin, is something like that. Yeah, traded to the top of the range. Yeah, traded to the top of the range and then wiped out everybody who was positioned for the breakout.
Tommy, speaking of flushes and buybacks, I talked about this morning on our GigaChat call, and you'll remember this. During that period of time when we had those shakeouts back in like November, December, during the vertical accumulation, there were 3 coins that stand out to me that were particularly strong, that were leading the market and showing their hand as to the overall direction that was to come. One of them was Solana. The other one that comes to mind would probably be Injective and then Celestia. Those 3, whenever the market would flush and dump, would nuke really hard, like 20-30% in like an hour, and then immediately whipsaw back and make a new high. Right now, we are seeing certain coins doing that. Specifically, the one that comes to mind right now, Tucker, maybe you could pull it up, is Say. Say has basically done just that. I think it's green on the day now. It was green like 6% on the day.
No, yeah, Max. I looked at it.
Did you talk about this already? Okay.
Well, a little bit. So in the same 4-hour candle, I got to get on like the 35-minute. Yeah, that'll do. We wiped 23% and then we pumped about 60.
See, that doesn't happen when the overall market's about to like global top shit the bed. We're seeing the same patterns play out that we saw before. Really just like in November and December before we had this most recent mark up and then I guess today drop. But you're seeing certain altcoins show strength like this. And this is not what you see when Bitcoin's about to roll over and drop 50% and the global top is in. There are certain altcoins that are market leaders and have been market leaders that can show you the direction that the overall market is going to trend once this slowly recovers.
Well,
So again, I think that Say is showing you its hand. It's been the market leader the past couple weeks, and it's already made a new high. So I would expect the rest of the market to follow.
I mean, say is moving, but I would say just moving back to Bitcoin, um, something a lot of bears have been using all year long and talking about is wicks get filled, right? And if you put this on a high time frame, there's a wick to the upside, a pretty big one that I ultimately think will get filled, right? Price will move back up. A lot of bears are looking at this and they're calling it a deviation, right?
I'm about
And
to
then
do that right now, Will.
that's what a lot of bears are doing. They're calling it a deviation above. Now, here's the thing: if price drives back above that range, that invalidates the deviation altogether, and then that whole thesis is out the window. And I do think that it will end up validating back above there. The problem that I'm seeing is if you put this on the weekly, Tucker, on Bitcoin, and you look at April 2023. Look at April 2023 on the weekly
Hang on, this
when
is
you get a
what Tommy was
chance.
talking
By the
about.
way, just quickly, the problem with deviation, bruv, is that we have to look at today's daily closing price.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, but you could argue this. Wait, where's the daily? Oh, never mind. You're right. You're right. Never mind. I mean, we're still just in this range, though. If you look at the weekly, right? Like,
Yeah.
just what do you want, Will?
Your monthly too is really good. The weekly, could you put on the weekly real quick?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, and then look at April 2023 on the weekly.
2023 April.
By the way,
Right
can we
here.
highlight the booty bandit comment in the
So
meantime?
a lot of people aren't really paying attention, but there's April, right? And then we can go deeper in that. We can go January, February, March 2023.
January, February, and
Right in
here.
there. Yep. So like people aren't considering that this could simply just be a chop sideways for a month or two, right? And then a breakout again. Like people are so quick to jump the gun that this is the top and it's going to retrace here. They're not willing to understand that hey, price has been building to the upside, and if you look there, you got one leg, you got two legs, which you've highlighted there, Tucker, and then you got the move up, the rejection at the high, and then the breakout, right, the W formation. So arguably three legs in that last move, and we're just starting our first one right now of the current move. The previous uptrend, I can't really see that getting. I can't see that getting captured again. I don't see price coming back down to the 30s or any of that stuff like people are thinking. I think we remain well up here in the 40s, and we can chop sideways for a multitude of weeks, and then eventually just break out to the upside. Arguably, again, I've discussed this many times. If you go back to 17, I think we are very close to the breakout stage of Bitcoin to where it actually starts just up and up and up and up and up only. And so many people are thinking macro and all these weird shit that they don't even understand. Um, but they talk about it, right? They have no clue what they're talking about, but they talk about things that they don't understand. And they don't realize that none of that stuff matters in crypto. It just doesn't. Like macro doesn't matter. Nothing. It sounds dumb. It sounds really dumb. And you can quote me on it, whatever. I don't care. Like, and I mean that to the audience, but
So can I tweet out macro is dumb, quoted from Will's Outlook? Is
well,
that
there's just certain points where you cannot include macro when volume liquidity is present, right? Volume and liquidity can invalidate your bullshit macro. That's it at the end of the day. And I don't mean like bullshit macros as in all macros bullshit because it's not. I think macro matters at a certain point, and when volume liquidity is showing its face or its hand, you need to understand that macro is not in the favor of whatever you were thinking it was. Volume and liquidity can invalidate your macro, and then your macro view needs to change with volume and liquidity. But so many people are not willing to switch on volume and liquidity. They want to stick to macro. Well, I can tell you, sticking to macro historically never works out, and most bear markets tend to not last more than a year, and we already went through a year of bear market. And you can go back through history and look at that. It's very evident, especially with Bitcoin. Bitcoin tends to be 1 year of straight bear. And then guess what? There's no more bear from there. It's just accumulation range. I
And-
made a chart on it.
Dude, and Will, I was talking about that too over the weekend, that I think a lot of people are missing the mark on where we potentially are in this cycle. And I think a lot of people are caught up with this idea that we typically dump 30 or 40% before the halving. And then maybe 6 months after the halving, you get a big parabola. And they're caught up with this idea that the next Bitcoin halving is in April of 2024. We can't make a new all-time high before a halving. It's never happened before. We'll probably dump, and then we'll go on, a year from now to make a new all-time high. But they can't wrap their head around the fact that this time might actually be slightly different, and the 4-year cycle is probably going to be broken. A lot of people were thinking the 4-year cycle is a meme. It won't exist anymore. The cat's out of the bag. We're not going to get, a new parabola because everybody thinks we're going to. Well, what if we get it, but most people are just sidelined and they were just too slow to act on it? And I was actually making the argument this weekend on Twitter that I think it's more plausible, and I gave a whole bunch of reasons why, that we actually go on to make a new all-time high before the halving and then dump sometime after the halving, or at least correct slightly after the halving for the first time ever. So, I mean, we can talk about that, but I actually, that's the mindset that I'm in, is that we are halfway up to our new all-time high. We are basically like 30 to 40% into our new parabola right now, but most people just refuse to accept it because it's a little different than it has been before.
Well, Max, you also have to consider too, a lot of people, by the time that their macro thesis, it looks healthy, their model looks good, they're like, all right, it's time to enter, everything's going to be back at all-time high or exceeding it.
Yeah, I could totally see that. And I want to show a couple charts here.
Max,
So, yo.
do you know also where people are sidelined?
Where?
On the like button.
Dude, tell me about it. Jackus, tell them what's up. Tell them everything they need to know.
Guys, it's the new year, and it's a year of alpha dump, and it's also the year of pressing the like button.
That's an old Chinese proverb. This is the year of liking the like button.
So don't forget to do that, guys. I won't trouble you no more. And by the way, LDO making new highs, so 20% up on the day. I kept telling you guys that ETH beta will run, and now I'm up like 60%.
It's because Jackus is comfy, moisturized in his own lane. It's fantastic.
Yep.
All right, we came up with this scenario on Market Check Live maybe like 3 months ago, 4 months ago. We're like, what if all of the price action from like Q2 of 2022 through 2023 was a deviation below fair value, and it was beach ball underwater? And I've been monitoring the situation in this range, and I'm just saying, I want to put this here. Maybe it seems a little crazy, but if you take a look at it, this was our bull market range. We have range low, we got range high. Look at all of that clean interaction with the mid-range. Look, it doesn't get much cleaner than this, guys. All of this clean interaction with the mid-range, all bull market. And now look, we have now reclaimed the mid-range. We dumped to it to retest it this morning, and everybody's losing their mind, So I'm just saying, range theory suggests that a deviation of one side of a range is more oftentimes met with a symmetrical deviation to the other side of that range. I'm just saying, what if? What if?
Draw the line, Max. Draw the ray.
You are Tucker.
Tucker.
This is the Tucker Nachi line.
It's gonna be so clean.
Right here.
Yep.
Right here.
90K.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Just let's contextualize this a bit. Everybody thinks that, the halving is right around here. I don't even know where exactly. Right around this blue line is April 2024. We're just like every other time, we don't have a new all-time high before the halving. We're gonna just like chop and correct, and then after the halving, right around here, we're all just gonna sing kumbaya and just buy a bunch of Bitcoin and just get rich together. What if you're a sideline-or and we get something like this, and then we correct down here, deviation, bruv.
Correcting from higher. A lot
Yeah.
of people are just not anticipating it,
Yeah.
and they're going to be caught off sides.
I'm just saying, I'm just saying. That's all I'm doing is just saying. All right, let's throw some fractals on here. How about this? Huh? How about the fact that we've been literally following the COVID dump fractal perfectly?
Max, the COVID dump
this.
already happened. No. Here's the thing,
Dude,
Max.
no, Will. This was the COVID dump. FTX was the COVID dump. This is from right here.
No. Hold on.
Yeah.
Draw a line across those lows, the trend line on 2017 to the COVID dump. Ignore the wick. Put it on the monthly. Ignore the wick.
Put it on the monthly, he says.
Put it on the monthly. Ignore the wick. Draw the trend at the lows.
From where?
Let's
Right
go.
here?
Not the wick. The bodies only. Bodies only.
So right here.
The COVID bodies.
To the COVID bodies. No. Just leave it
Imagine,
there. Leave it there.
imagine a stream where Will doesn't say put on the monthly.
All right, now go to the current bottom, right? The current bottom of the market, and draw it up to our 19K wick.
Right here.
Yep. That's your move.
Yeah, no, 100.
You already missed it.
Yeah, you're correct. But this fractal that I had, man, I literally took it from right here, and it's an extended version of the COVID drop. We'll do it again live right here. We'll do it again live right here. It's an extended version of this dump.
100%. I'm just saying, like, you already got the double tap of the low, and a lot of people are not acknowledging that. You got the double tap of the low. It's done. Like, you're not getting any more revisited lows.
And look at this perfect price action, man. Like, everyone's freaking out about this. We're about to gap up again. We could spend another day ranging around here, chopping around here, but look at how we're holding. See this black line right in the middle? This black line is our bull market mid-range. Most people don't have that drawn. They don't think there's any level of anything there. They're just like, oh, the next level is 48K. No. This is your level, 41, low 41 region. Got to hold that level. That's a huge level for price. Just because it's not super obvious and it's in between these extremes, the previous all-time high and then the bull market range low, people are ignoring it. But look at this, man. I mean, look at this perfect retest from this morning right on this level. Look how we've been dancing around it. And look what we're supposed to do next. I didn't manipulate this fractal. I dragged and dropped it. Look at this. What are we talking about here?
It's so clean for ETH too, Max. It's so clean.
What are we talking about? People got overexcited. They got over leveraged here at the highs again. They got flushed. Funding has reset. Things look pretty healthy. I mean, if you lose this level here, if I see price move back down and do this, we got a problem. Okay. We got a problem and we're going down here. Okay. We're going down to this region. But until that happens, why freak out? We're literally just sitting here in this beautiful little range right here. I'll make it red so you can see it. We're just sitting here in this little low time frame range on top of a high time frame support. What's everyone freaking out about? I want to understand it.
I like the COVID fractal though, but I know I get mean on the monthly, but man, it's just so clean. Look, the monthly weekly is so clean to look at. Like it's so obvious what's going on here when you zoom out versus if you're sitting here on the 4 hour. So I'm like, oh my God, the whole market's going to 10K because of this 4 hour candle. I have literally no clue what's going on at all in anything when it comes to price action or volume.
Man, I'm
what
so
was the
shit's stupid.
Max, what is that mid range that you have drawn on the the bull market?
Right here?
Yeah.
What's the level it's at?
Yeah.
41,291.
So we tapped that this morning.
Dude, look at my screen, Tucker. Like it's literally just perfect. We've reclaimed as of right now our bull market mid range.
Yeah, well, the thing is too. Yeah,
And
and
look where we're going next.
we've reclaimed it perfectly too. We actually opened above the mid range, which is really bullish. A lot of people just are not acknowledging that. This is basically accumulating up here at this high because we opened above the mid range.
Yeah, Tucker, I got you back on the screen, man.
Oh, just looking at 12-month candles, we'll be happy about that.
Here we go, Tucker. Here we go.
Did you see this comment, Will?
He only
The decade
Hold on,
candles.
say it again. I didn't see that.
He said Will's so old he only plays with decade candles.
Decade.
That was
I
pretty
bet you
fun.
could do that, couldn't you?
You see all Bitcoin in one candle?
Yeah. I'm not gonna do it. It's too much.
I'm
But
not gonna do it.
the what? 20? I mean, how much PA did we put? Was this COVID? Was this COVID? Yeah, that was COVID. So it's hard to analyze the last one.
Look,
But
I use the monthly just because it literally tells me, is my trend wrong or is my trend right? And then if my trend's right, then guess what? I got to play the long side.
I love this, by the way, Tucker. Like the 1 year of red and then just
yeah,
3 years of green. That's
Yeah.
actually, there might be some alpha in that.
there's alpha in the 12-month candles, man. I'm telling you. So we're in a you know what? I actually just got from some alpha from you, Max, which
We're
was
in that second year.
putting this bar down at the bottom. That
Gotta do it.
is alpha. I had it at the top.
No.
I already like it more, man. I already like it.
man.
Guys. I have some alpha as well that needs to be shared today, but I only share if we reach 100 likes. We are at 60 right now. We have 100 people watching, and you guys have 2 accounts. So 100 is very achievable. Just wanted to note it.
You guys are going to want to see the alpha.
You
Yeah.
do.
You're
And
going to
you
want to see
need
it.
to see it today. Trust me.
You're going to want to see it. There's some alpha here in the 12-month chart, man. I mean, all trends break eventually, right? But
Are
On
you
YouTube,
guys
though.
really
On YouTube.
considering the 12-month chart, or you just made fun of me?
is that not high enough time frame for you, Will? Do you want the 24-month? We could go higher.
We're gonna have to throw out 2020, man, because we just can't. That's just black swan data, right? But
Bro, people they so badly want the black swan. It's like,
Dude, they're
dude,
praying
you'll see
for it,
that
Will.
once in your life.
I don't
That's
know.
it.
I'm not going to
Tucker,
call
Tucker.
out I'm not going to call out anybody individually,
Tucker,
but there are some analysts with big followings that I can tell are literally praying that we nuke because they are so distraught over missing this entire move.
Yep.
Praying, and you can tell they try to be like impartial and they'll be like, yeah, like just wanted to point out that we've just retested like this really, really harsh resistance level, and like I'd be careful up here, and you just know they're praying for it, they're just praying for it. And that's fuel for the bull market, as people just praying on its downfall. I'm telling you, this move caught a lot of people offsides. Not the nuke here that I'm talking about. I'm talking about this move from 25 up to 45 in a few months. Most didn't catch that.
Bloodsport, I posted all my buys publicly on my Twitter. So if you want, you can go ahead and check that out.
I mean, dude, everybody was bearish at 20K unless you were just like a perma bull and just mindlessly DCAing. There was a lot of reasons to be bearish at 20K. A lot of reasons. You have to be bullish when it starts to climb up and you get a failed breakdown at 20K. I was bearish at 20K. Like, I was also bearish the equity markets at 3,500 when I closed all my puts from 700 points higher. Like, everybody's bearish into like a local low. It's about when you pivot out of that. So if Will was bearish at 20K, I don't know if he was or wasn't. He was super bullish at 25K. Doesn't matter where you were bearish. You got screenshots bearish at the bottom. Oh my gosh, he has screenshots. Will, you're ruined. Will, how will you ever recover? Come on, man.
You got screenshots bearish at the bottom. Was it 20K on the left side or 20K on the right side? Because I'd love to see those screenshots. Because if you're on the left side, it went down to 15K.
Dude.
And if you're on the right side, then it revisit the lows.
Bloodsport,
Makes
I don't know
sense.
I don't know what you're trying to accomplish, man. Like trading Will's lights out, man. He was publicly longing at like 23 to 26K. And the idea of like somebody publicly sharing this information for free for you to come in here and be like, you had a slightly bearish bias at this one point, which was low on the chart. Dude, he could have been talking about like any different time frame. Who cares, man? Like, we're here every single day sharing alpha for free. Like, you don't have to come here if you think people are like, if we're bad or something. Like, I don't care if you think we suck at trading, because we don't make any money from this right now, like none. We show up here every day. We're all full-time traders, man. Like, that's so fucking weird that you show up here and you try to say Will was bearish at 25K or 20K or whatever it was, man. Dude, go check his timeline. Like, join the Discord and see. We have all of 2023 public transcripts of every single trade that everybody on the entire Because Bitcoin team took. Everybody, man. Literally everybody. The entire year, every single trade documented meticulously. You
The
know,
market checks at 25K were very heated, and I remember Will was very bullish at that level.
No, I remember too. We were telling Will, we were like, not gonna hold, brother. We're going down.
The thing is even if he was, guys, it's not about one-time situation. It's always about his overall added value that he brings every single day when he is on the stream, right? So if you're gonna judge anyone by one single take, you are an idiot. That's it.
Yep.
We really got the chat just attacking this guy now.
Well, bro, the chats with Will, man, because Will's made all of them
know.
so much money.
Yeah.
I know.
Like, Will's been literally printing people. Will's been giving out stimmy checks all year in his free calls for everybody. And then one guy comes in who I've never seen before, starts poking fun at Will after he's been making everybody money. So everyone's like, dude, get out of here. What are you doing? That's our boy.
Probably sidelined and salty.
Yeah, probably. He
Since
probably
20K.
capitulated his Bitcoin at 17K and he's thinking about buying back in at an all-time high. Classic.
Classic, man.
Anyways, I digress. Let's get back to the show. But
many such cases.
yeah,
I mean, look.
leave your dumb
What do we,
comments somewhere else, man.
what do we look like more, right? Like we've already said, right? Like, you know, if we go like to a weekly chart, let me just get rid of these, right? Like we look so much more like 2017 than we do like 2019, right? So if you put that on like a 6 month, like, you know, what do we think is going on here, right? Like we're probably gonna do something similar to that, just a ramp, you know what I mean, instead of this garbage, right, where we had COVID and whatever. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean,
I will
if you
say,
could,
you know, Bitcoin doesn't even need to have a ramp like that on a logarithmic for the opportunity to be parabolic, right? I mean, all coins, if Bitcoin even doubles or triples from here, the opportunity available in Bitcoin data and altcoins is going to be, you know, up there with anything that we've seen in crypto before, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, altcoins are going to absolutely fly if we do anything remotely similar to this, right? Yeah, I don't know, these high time frame charts, and Max, you're gonna love this, but I'm gonna put it on the
are you
hiking
gonna massage for me, Tucker?
You mean I'm gonna love this?
Oh,
This
you're
high time
hiking
frame.
poopy candle?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Poopy's on, man.
yeah.
Come on.
I mean, here's where was this? All right, so once you get past Q1 of the halving year, it's up only, man. It's just, it is
Yeah,
what
but
it
but
is.
again, Tucker, that's those second two red candles you see right there, prior to 17,
Yeah,
like
it was
that again.
COVID.
That's a black swan, right? Like
Yeah.
unless you plan on seeing a black swan, there's gonna be no more revisits. Absolutely none. Look at prior cycle before 17, and no black swan occurred. And look at those candles. It just up only from there. That's it.
Yeah.
It literally just curves straight up and goes right into the next bull. And I
Yeah.
think like people anticipating for a black swan, you are praying for a miracle. That's what you're doing right now. You are praying for a miracle, and it's just probably not going to happen. Like you saw a black swan already in the middle of the cycles. your best bet on another black swan is another. It's usually what I've seen, at least historically, is like decades, right? You get a black swan, then you might get another black swan in another decade. So you might see a black swan in like 2030 or somewhere towards the end of this decade, but you're not going to see one this cycle. It's not going to happen.
Look how
Yeah.
clean, man. Look how clean this
That
is.
actually that is clean. I do rag on the Heikinashi candles, but it is clean for high time frame trends.
Yeah.
I just think that most people are really caught up with this idea that we can't rally that aggressively before a Bitcoin halving, and they're closed off to the idea. And I think it's dangerous. And I'm not suggesting that you like go crazy on, the leverage or, even just like throw your cash at it right now. But you have to, as a trader and as even a high time frame investor, be open to every possibility, even one that's never really happened before. Because you'll be caught completely off sides. I know some really good analysts that I see struggling right now because of their unwillingness to accept something that is potentially different than it was before. So I'm just saying, like, it would not surprise me to see Bitcoin at an all-time high, by like mid Q2. It would not surprise me at all. And at that point, that's when I start unloading, and I accept that, yeah, the traditional 4-year cycle as it has played out with the few data points that we do have, given there's only been a few halvings of we, chop and correct aggressively into a Bitcoin halving and then rally aggressively after might be different. Perhaps it's being front run. Perhaps it has something to do with the Fed pause, which we know has been good for risk. And Bitcoin is still perceived as somewhat a risk asset. Some people don't, but I mean, I would say that the overwhelming majority do. Or maybe it's the ETF tailwind. It could be a multitude of different things, but you have to be willing to accept that you're probably going to get another parabola, and maybe we're in the early innings of one, but it might be different. It might be different timing wise than the other parabolas that we've experienced. And cycles as we know it might be changing.
Wait, Max, you think that every cycle can't be the exact same and we get to ride off into the sunset making generations?
Whoa. I didn't say that, Tommy. Whoa. No, that's exactly it. And I was in that camp, by the way. Speaking of bad calls, Bloodsport, I was super bearish shorting the crap out of ETH with Tommy and Tucker from like 17 and 1800 into the last local low of like 1500, 1550. And then we saw a failed breakdown while we were super short, man. Go check my Twitter.
Max,
Like,
do you
we
remember
were
that heated
so
debate
bearish.
we had around, I think, 17, 1800, where you guys were showing the Cheeto in the door meme, and I was like, dude,
Yeah.
this is where it holds. I'm like, this
Dude,
is
we
the
were
bottom.
so short. Go look at the market checks around that time. Jackus was like, we have to hold here. And me and Tommy and Tucker were like combined like 8 figures short ETH, man, like hammering the ask so much. And we saw a failed breakdown, and I closed my shorts and I flipped like net worth long at 1684. And yeah, how could I not be bearish as we're breaking down sub 1600, I didn't see the bullish play until the failed breakdown happened, so talk about like bad calls. I had to flip, and I had to be willing to accept that maybe we weren't going to get that big 40% flush to the downside before a Bitcoin halving. What if we don't? What if things were sped up? What if because of what happened all of 2022, we had a more expedited bear market because of the interest rate hikes that ensued? What if? That's different. That was a much different bear market environment than we've had historically.
You know what else is different, Max? Having receipts where you actually bought and not saying that I just felt good.
Sorry, Will. I was reading a really dumb comment from this kid again. What did you just say? I didn't even hear you.
Who told you?
Let's just not even don't even entertain this kid. Like, he's probably some 15-year-old who doesn't even have like $20 his name.
Dude, I looked at his channel. He posts like video game streams.
Anyways, like the point being is like trading is not necessarily
Just
investing.
ignore.
Investing is not trading, so on and so forth. And they're two totally different things. My investment strategy, and I've discussed this many times, is different from my trading strategy. I'll trade either direction, but my investment is dependent on the market, the volume, the direction, so on and so forth. So a bearish call could be based on a trade versus actual directionality. And a bullish call could also be the same thing. It just depends on what I'm seeing or what I'm looking at. But I tend to try and be pretty clear about what my thoughts are. And we had the discussion too, Max. I think when you guys were talking about short and ETH, um, I think we got in a pretty heated debate that day on I think live, where I was like, look, I was like, the Norby trend holds. I'm like, this is the low of the trend. You are going to hold here, and you're going to bounce off it and come back up.
Yep.
And I think once we got beyond a certain price, Max instantly flipped, and I was really surprised. But that's what good traders do. Good traders are able to adapt and move with the market, not necessarily try and hold a position because they feel a certain way. You could feel that macro is bearish, but if your timing is wrong, you are wrong, right? And a lot of people have been holding a bearish macro mindset for over a year now. And yeah, eventually they may become right at some point or be vindicated at some point. And hey, maybe we even revisit the lows. You never know, right? But it's still in that time, what money have they made being bearish? They've made nowhere near the amount of money that the bulls have made to the upside and being able to play this market as they see it. And even if you were to take substantial losses to the downside, you really wouldn't even really take any losses if you were positioned well, right? And I think that's what a lot of people aren't understanding. Whereas if you were a bear, you haven't got any positions because you've been waiting for positions. You haven't been taking positions. These are all important things I think that people have to really pay attention to when they're looking at the market. And like if you see a guy flip versus a guy hold their stance in the wrong direction for an entire year, I think it's more bullish on the person who's actually able to flip and move with the market than it is for the guy who holds the bearish thesis that plays out 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 years later. And they're like, oh, look, see, guys, I told you guys this was going to happen. Yeah, you told us that 4 years ago. What have you done since then? Absolutely
Will, you know
nothing.
what I've seen a lot of on the lower time frames is like there's been a few Twitter accounts that I follow. They're pretty big accounts, and they've been pretty clearly sidelined for most of this move. And it doesn't make them like bad traders. It's just like they missed the rotation on this bullish move up from 25, and they've been trying to short this thing the whole way up, or look for areas that it would reject from. And a lot of them came out and they're like, oh, we just rejected up like 45.5K. Like it's over. Like we're going to go so much lower. And they were just so excited about like this little tiny dump and celebrating it so quickly. And I kind of have a feeling like that's the recipe for ultimately going a lot higher, because like they probably shorted 44 and they're going to close and they're going to be super bearish looking for like 35, and it probably won't happen. And
I needed Palpatine meme. Good.
yeah. Yeah. Jackus, what do you
Good. They are
see, man?
celebrating.
I know
Good.
Jackus, you're super long LDO, which has been a great call by you. It's like one of the quickest to recover from this little leverage flush that we've had. But how are you feeling about the market right now as we enter 2024?
Very good. I love the volatility, and there are we've been discussing just 3 months ago. We were dying. Everyone was like, people always are very quick to forget, but just 3 months ago, everyone was calling each other out on Twitter. The volatility was dead. Alts were at their all-time lows, and just one of the worst times I've ever experienced in the market. And it's very, like, I'm appreciative of these times because they won't last forever. We will go to the period of long ass sideways. Like some people are annoyed with the latest moves on BTC and so forth, but that's nothing, compared to what we had. We will go once again to period of BTC going sideways for 90 days or so. So I'm appreciative of all the volatility, all the good vibes, if possible. And yeah, feeling nice.
I think too, like a lot of people, You could tell that they're very green at these markets, right? They all come in when like they have something to prove versus coming in trying to just make money. There's so many people who are in the space for clout versus actually coming in to make money, and I think that that's something to kind of recognize too in this space, because it's easy to build clout. It's hard to make money, and it's so apparent that a lot of these people they're built off of their following versus off of what they actually see in the market, like we actually cover every morning, right? Like we open with what do you see in the market, because we are looking for active positions and directionality and so on and so forth. We're not looking for a specific bias on price direction, versus like where is price going or where are we seeing price going. And I think that that's something very important. That's one thing that stuck with me, and why I've enjoyed being with BB is because it's actually looking at price versus, hey, let's go and try and build some clout real quick. And I think those are two totally different things, that a lot of people are engaging with actively. Is like, how can I build clout? Well, I put in this $10 trade, about 40 times, and eventually this 100x or 1000x will actually hit, and then I'll post the P&L on that, where I made like $200 after losing 400, so I can get some clout on Twitter.
The hedgers. But speaking of talking price action, Tucker, you've been working hard at something over here.
Oh man,
Can you do a little narration for us?
Tucker Nachis.
yeah, Jackus, you're gonna like this, man. You're gonna like this. Yeah, this was a fun one I just did actually, but I mean, check that out, man. Especially the low. Check out that low. I mean, are you serious? Are you kidding?
I keep telling you there's an alpha to it, man. Keep
There
grinding.
is. There's
Keep
so
grinding.
much. There's so much price reaction. And I mean, top, resistance, support. And now we're just riding on this. We've identified the horizontal SR, maxed it at like 41.2, but I think if you can keep grinding up here, you look pretty decent. So those were monthly.
I
These are
remember Tommy
weekly.
was saying that he knows some ex-market maker who only trades based off diagonals, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know who he's talking about. Yeah.
I'll keep
Yeah.
that alpha private, but
Yeah.
I'll share it with you, Jackus. I'll share it with you. I know who
All
Tucker
right.
is talking about.
Yeah, man. I mean, they just hit. Like, I think if you flip these up at like 46, like I drew it out, I mean, it's probably a path like that. Let me go daily. Like, it's probably a path something like this. Maybe it doesn't take that long, but I mean, those are your levels. Like, if we get down to like 39, like if we do something like this and we start grinding on this, as long as we don't lose, like, that's like 40K basically. I mean, that's a bid back up to here. But if we lose that, then which I don't think is going to happen. But I mean, imagine you would actually play. I'm pissed that I didn't actually play this myself because I literally just drew these. But I mean, you would have been able to top tick this whole range basically. So I don't know. I'm gonna respect him from now on.
Hey guys, real quick. So we're doing real well here. We got 111 people watching on YouTube, and we got 84 likes. Jack has said he was gonna just drop some serious alpha on you guys at 100 likes today. That's pretty low for Jackus. Usually he's up in like the 120 to 150 area. 100 likes. That means we only need 16 more likes from the YouTube crew. So if 16 of you, and you guys, there's over 100 people watching, so I know we could get this done right now. If there's 16 people out there watching on YouTube that have not liked the stream yet, if you like the stream, Jackus is going to take over. He's going to throw his charts up, and he's basically just going to alpha dump on you until you can't take it anymore. You might want him to stop, but he's not going to. So again, if you want Jackus to take that screen and alpha dump, we need 16 people. We need 16 people to hit that like button. Huge, man. Huge. Let's see where we're at right now. 91. All right, well, we only need 9 more. We only need 9 more. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna ban Bloodsport right now because he's super annoying. So Bloodsport is bye-bye forever. And now we should be free and unencumbered to actually run up the like button. We need 6 more people to like the stream, and then Jackus is taking over. We're getting close.
We should just ignore
Ooh.
people. Like, I don't know if ban is the right way, maybe, or just
No,
ignore.
he's not banned. I hit his comments because
Oh yeah,
he's just picking on Will for no reason, man. It's ridiculous.
probably we'll start.
Some people love me, man.
We,
Yeah.
haters mean you're doing a good job, by the way. So, but we
What's
might
that?
need,
That meme, the bowling guy.
yeah.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
is it?
he said, "Love me,
Love me or
or
hate
hate me, you
you
watch."
You
watch.
watch.
I mean, it's like
That's right.
I've never done this before on YouTube. Like people come in here and they kind of criticize or they poke, like that's fine. But to just single one guy out and honestly lie about him, like he's straight up lying about Will. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna hide your comments. He's not banned from the channel, but I'm just done seeing him come in and literally lying about Will. It's stupid, man. Really stupid. But anyways, let's see where we're at with the likes. Let's see if we got to 100. We're at 101. Guys, you did it. Congratulations. Jackus is going to cook. I know everybody's hungry for Chef Jackus. I know they want some of that Chef Jackus special.
All right. Let me set up the screen.
What is this, Tucker? What is this? You need to
Look
drag
at
that
this,
way higher.
man. Look at the respect, man. You can't deny the respect. Right here. You couldn't close above it. That's a short. You get above, you break out above it. There's your long. Easy money.
Yeah.
We need it. Like there's definitely great stuff to it. We just need to make it actionable at a real time,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, for
But
sure.
You can definitely.
I think these are probably the most actionable for now. I guess this monthly one, actually, this green one. Like if we get down into like 40.8. I mean, like these, like I'm gonna play these as SR to the downside for sure. Like if we get down in here, that's a bid for sure. I don't think we get down to like 39.5, but if we do, bid.
Yeah, there's a CME gap around there too. I don't know if we're gonna get it though. I really don't know if we're gonna get it.
Yeah.
All right, Chef Jackus, you're up, man. We got you on the screen. Everybody's hungry.
All right. So there are definitely few things to mention and the alpha that I'm gonna share, guys. By the way, congrats for doing it though. So earlier today, when we were trading up here after all this move up, I was thinking that, hey, like if we were bullish, we really should have kept pressing higher, right? And then create a reaccumulation. Like what we should have done is like create some reaccumulation above here and then continue higher. Similar, to this one, where we broken above the range and then we kept grinding higher. That kept me confident we should be moving higher, just as everyone here was, printing their RSI divergences and saying, hey, 30K retest, blah, blah, blah. So when we did not do that, right, and we came back to retest, and I was like, and I did it right here on Twitter publicly, and I did not expect it to happen this quickly. But I was thinking like this actually makes sense. Like the moment we start losing this low and reclaiming, sub 44.5, and I definitely could see a scenario here where we like broken below and then retest, right? So that did not happen. It was really just straight up down, straight up nuke, and yeah. So I did expect that we would, if that happens, that we would come back down. But something's very important. So you'll see lots of people calling for a breakdown and 10K next. But I'm gonna give you a simple trick, right? Everyone's looking at this and be like, and especially H4, like everyone. I mean, very nice H4 candle, but still, right? Everyone will be telling you, like, yeah, deviation, bruh. We come back, retest 0, blah blah blah. Well, look at this. right? Look at this chart. Where's that break of structure, right? Just reaccumulation. That's it. And that's what you want to pay attention to, because the wicks can be misleading lots of times. I mean, they are very important still, right? You want to see where stops were taken, you want to see the context and so forth. But you also want to see the closing prices, especially on the daily. And look at that. We swept some of these lows, including this one, I believe. And obviously this is the index price, so it will depend on an exchange. There may be some exchange that front run the lows, some exchange when maybe even deeper, maybe even below this one I could see. But all in all, majorly this low and this low on the index price was taken. But the daily close will be super important here. And we are here fighting the yearly open, right? The yearly open is one of the most important price, because from many sides, because we actually had a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly close at the same time. Well, that happens on the new year with the monthly and so forth. Well, we had also weekly, so like there was a good confluence, and generally this is probably the most important level to look for, right? To look for, because just once again, lots of confluences and the highest time frame. So I did expect when we opened, and I was saying that a few days earlier in the BB Discord, I was saying, hey, we'll probably move higher, take the yearly highs, and then oscillate around the yearly open. There is a chance even we lose it at some point later in the year, because the year is very long. We have to look like at this entire time frame. So there's a good chance we go higher, we go lower, right? The yearly open is a level to watch. But as of right now, if we do close it like this, or simply above yearly open, then in my opinion that's a strong bullish absorption, and that's important. So we may still come back and till this week, right? We may close like this. We will see a few days, some shakeout still, maybe even dip slightly below it on like one day. Close below doesn't mean like sell everything, right? That's not it. This is important here. We took the stops even here, and we will be closing below. So that's very important. And now what I do expect is that we will not be going straight high. Okay, I do not think we see like immediate buyback the next day. No, we will probably, given we now swept both the highs and lows, the market will need time to absorb. We may see, over the next days, some of this will get filled. We will go back, retest this supply, reject again. Something like of this kind is going to form within this range. Then I do expect further upside, especially if this is held. But I did anticipate this ahead of happening. And now this is the serious alpha. Look at the 24-hour volatility, guys. Right? Every time, the last year we got to these levels, the market stopped moving. Like that was the meat of the move. Each time we got so high. So this was the August 23 dump, right? This was the October upside.
Jackus, can you throw up a Bitcoin chart there too? Is that possible?
Yeah,
That's
I'll
really
do.
cool to look at.
That's a good point. I'm actually going to put 2D chart so that I can scale in. Sec.
That looks like a high time frame PO3. Is that correct?
It is.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot of upside, Jackus. That's propaganda. All right, that's propaganda.
Forbidden. Okay, I'm trying to scale up these. Sort of similar. Shit. Right, we are sort of the same. So, right, this was the FTX FTX dump, and look at this. We had this insane upside, and FTX dump, man, that was like once a cycle situation. So that was really big, and we got to very big levels. There was another day of downside that followed, right, and then the wick fell. But this was like extreme bear market, so context needs to be applied. But the moral of the story is that when we spiked like this, right, the next day we bottomed. So then look at what happened during whenever we got to these prices, right? So like March 2023, there was a big spike, and I think the spike was way bigger during the day because this was like rolling up volatility. This was one day shakeout, right? But still, nonetheless, at these levels of volatility, with the 24-hour day volatility, we made we basically made the bottom, sort of, right? It actually, the volatility spike was on the upside. To be fair, just the same. But look at this one, right? Oh shit! Actually, I might do it like this, right? So I can go in on the daily now. On the daily here, during these flushes, this was the big flush, and we went really high up here, and we bottomed, right? I mean, there was still this sideways action after because we need to absorb. We had a fake out. We even swept the low after, but it was the bottom. Like that was the end of the move. Now, this one obviously, was a big spike to the upside, range breakout, and so forth. So context needs to be applied. But I do think that this time as well, just what I was explaining earlier, we spiked higher. We spiked really high on the volatility index, and we dropped lower while all that context I talked about earlier. So if we do close, because price is always the most important, and we need to look at that. We need to look at the structure and so forth, and then apply the context to it, right? Like you cannot make assumption just because of volatility. But I do think that because we probably gonna get this daily close above the yearly open, then that gives a good context that this move down is over, and we probably not going to see a further like big downside. Although, once again, we could see some of this wick getting filled. Maybe we even at some later part, we see this wick getting swept, right? And we like maybe what happens. And make a note here. Maybe we sweep these, right? These two lows at some point later. That's possible. But I do not think we had much lower than that. So we'll see how that unfolds during this range. But I generally think that further upside should be next. By the way, also pretty interesting to see to me is this. So this is the 7-day volatility, and it's been going down since COVID, right? And look at that. We are, for the first time, maybe getting the breakout in volatility. And we know that BTC haven't been much volatile in the recent years. The volatility has been clearly going down. This could be the start of something. Maybe nothing. Maybe it's just a fake breakout. We go back down and spend more time in here. But I was informing about this for a while, right? So this is something definitely worth paying attention to. The 7-day volatility index. It works great on the downside as well, right? Whenever we get to the low price moves, sorry, low numbers, the volatility kicks in. It's very
Have we hit 8.9 yet on the VIX?
mm,
I
no,
wouldn't think so.
we are at 7.86. If that's what you're asking.
On the VIX?
Oh, VIX.
I was gonna say what? Like, dude, we're gonna get wrecked if we're at 7.86.
we are at 14 right now on VIX.
Bro, VIX is going to 8.9. You can scroll out, look at the lows of every single cycle. We're heading to it right now.
Yeah, that's a good that's actually a decent estimate. I don't know if we go that low. Well, maybe, but I'm definitely eyeing like before the cycle top. I think we could see these getting swept up for sure.
Yeah, I know not a lot of people participated, but I think we revisit the 8.9s, and then we're gonna get absolutely shreked at the end of the cycle. Like when you hit that low, man, when that thing actually starts to pop off again, like you
Yeah,
are going to get destroyed. Like this cycle is going to wreck people.
but also see how much time we can spend down there before the actual
Oh
volatility
yeah,
kicks in, right? That's
100%.
something important to keep. Like I'm on the weekly here, right? I'm on the weekly, guys. So yeah, just keep that in mind that we can bounce here and then grind towards the lower parts for some time and then make a double bottom. So like really, once again, the big kick in volatility doesn't have to come until like end of the year or something. Q3, Q4,
That's
we'll
that's
see.
my thoughts. Is in the 2024, beginning of 2025, this whole thing collapses. That's where bears get vindicated, but they've already missed the entire move. They're getting vindicated at much higher price valuations, and they've already missed out on tons of gains, and they'll probably never see those lows again on a lot of those assets.
Yeah, look at I want going on. I want to point out also the BTCD because it has like freakingly nice structure, right? I'm on the regular chart and look at that. We had a series of higher highs and higher lows, right? Like, yeah, surely here it makes a lower low, but we are inside of this leg, right? This is what often people forget. Same here. So it was really just making a nice structure, but this is the first time when we actually made a lower low on the weekly. Like this is actual market structure break, right? On the weekly and then daily and so forth. And look at this one. So there was a really nice trend. Um, Actually, not sure if it was from here. Yeah, look at that, right? There was an uptrend, and that was broken. So we broken the uptrend, and we broken the market structure. And what are we doing here? We are go even like this, sort of, right? It doesn't have to be completely precise, but we had the market structure break, and now we are retesting the supply. This is very, very nice, and we could. This is another alpha, guys, and I'm gonna end the alpha dump here, but we may be going to see a sweep of this high. That's possible, but all in all, the rotation is in. Just like on East BTC, the rotation is in, and they can do these shenanigans here. Uh, but overall, I believe we are rotating, and we need to see sub these levels and these levels from here. And look at this inefficiency, dude. That's getting filled so bad. Uh, yeah, that's just like locally. I didn't want to talk too much about like all the future through the whole year, but from here the next move should be move lower, and these are the targets. These two lows are important. Um, I also want to point out. On BT or USDT with everything we talked about, right? And this is the USDT dominance market, which is inversely correlated, as we know, to the market. So whenever USDT goes down, that means market up. Whenever USDT dominance goes up, that means market down. So look at this. This is just a textbook shakeout. This is like legit the freaking 2018 scam pump before the big drop. So what I'm actually going to do here is them side by side, because I want you to see this. Because price is fractal if you know how to read context. And this is legit what's happening here, right? This was the scam pump that happened, and then you've seen this shit, and then the breakdown, and that's what I think happens here. We had this scam pump. It's a different time frame, but context-wise, that's the same. We had a sweep of all these highs, right? We did not entirely sweep these, but that doesn't matter. Like this is good enough, and yeah, we will probably see some fuckery around up here, but later on we are getting down here. All right,
Isn't the average, just to add real quick, and I'll let you
yeah.
continue cooking? Isn't the average like 30% from your target is usually good enough when you like hit a FEG or something like that? I think it's like 30% or 15% if you can get within range of that you've basically been filled at that position.
I'm not sure what you're asking, Will, right now.
Max, do you know what I'm talking about with FVG? How far you have to go in before
Oh, usually
you
it's
consider
that's a
fill?
50% fill.
Yeah,
So
the
yeah, as long as you
middle.
get a 50% or better, right?
Yeah, the
Oh,
middle
now
is
I
nice.
understand you. Yeah, I wasn't sure what you meant, like 30%. So yeah, 50%. It's possible we go 50% of the week fill it and reverse. But I'm pretty positive, And if I'm gonna invert it to BTC, what it implicates for BTC, it's very very similar. It's actually, let me do some clean chart. Never mind.
Did you
Right.
guys know we have FOMC today?
No.
What?
We have PMI, JOLTS, and FOMC, and we haven't even talked about it
I
once.
wonder how many
So
people on
funny.
Twitter are just like, let's watch the FOMC together, guys.
Oh
Look,
man.
look at this, guys. Right. So imagine that this is a bear market, right? If you want to be bearish, and you have a clean downtrend, you then deviate below, and then you have a stop run, right? This is it. We legit swept all these highs one more time, and the market will now legit stop run, and I'm pretty confident that we will be going down here. That's the same, and this is BTC inverted.
Jackus, let me show you something real quick. What do you think about this, man? This is just USDT dominance that you
Yeah,
had.
I know.
Do you think that this is gonna break and we're gonna see basically a capitulation in USDTD?
We should just like we should see the sort of blow off top, similar to what we've seen on Sol, for example, with that fuckery upside. We should see the same on Bitcoin, right? And therefore capitulation in USDT. I do not think I'm not sure we see such magnitude because after all, the USDT dominance is essentially probably still going to keep grinding higher as they gain market share. So you always need to adjust that. But the levels are sort of pretty clean, and I think we should see the capitulation in USDT.
It kind of seems like
Yeah,
if you lose this level right here, oh boy.
I think we can dip slightly below, right? Like inside of it, that's okay.
Yeah. All right, I'll go back to you.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, USDT down and inverse Bitcoin also down to retest this. This will cause a reaction whenever we get down here. This is going to cause some pump. So good to de-risk whenever we get up here because it's inverted, right? And then I think we see lower prices. So something like that for. Okay, I'm gonna scale out now. So I do think USDT will continue lower to exactly what you mentioned, Max. Whenever we get down here is, in my opinion, sell the market. We'll see. We can also spend some time in here though, right? Like USDT gets down here, and then it can spend time here, just like here. It can be 5 months, and in this time alts will fly. That's possible. Where we like get down here, and then we'll be doing this. That's very much likely, but until here, just keep in mind, guys, whenever we get down here, it's probably time to get out. Just like we will probably see a intraday shakeout when we retest this level. So yeah, guys, that's enough alpha from me today, because I do hope it was worth it, because I do believe it was.
Hey, Jackus, take a look at Dixie. It's pretty interesting. Seems like it's just been running sideways now for multiple months.
Which one, Will?
DXY.
Oh, DXY.
It is getting to support. I think that's something worth considering, but I don't think that this is necessarily the stone bottom yet.
Yeah. So
locally.
this was an obvious. Okay. This is an obvious level that I talked about for a while, that it can definitely cause a reaction, which it has. But I do not think this is a level that is like going to send us high like this, right? So we did see the reaction, but we are still inside. Like, look at this, right? There are bounces at decent levels, but I essentially do think we break lower on this leg, on the weekly or like monthly, if you will. And because this is a new year, we have to keep in mind we are 3 days in a new year, so this is potentially weak, and then we close the monthly down here. That's very much possible, and I do think if I place in a simple trend, you can see that we are in a downtrend, and expecting a reversion from here is stupid, just like vice versa. But whenever you get this flip, you should probably expect more upside, which means bet for a risk. Now I do think we just swept this one. We might gonna get a get poor fill up here, like deviation breath, right? But I think we had lower, which is going to be essentially bullish for risk.
So it's possible that all of this bearish price action that we're seeing a lot of equities display and even crypto is really just setting the wick to the downside, at least for the month or maybe the quarter. Time will tell.
Or maybe the year, Max.
Or maybe the year.
Yearly low was set this morning. Book it.
Look at this. Look at this, guys. Right? This is well, I definitely did expect we're gonna get a deeper pullback. Maybe we are getting it here. Maybe we go lower. But look at this reaction. Like, wow. I could see us going down here, right? Sweeping on equity, sweeping this low. Now this is a great support.
Wait, Jackus, you know what I'm seeing is that 60 the Bitcoin fractal where we went to 69K on this
Yeah,
chart right here. So
yeah.
that would be like one more push up like you have drawn. But I'm seeing that fractal right there.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Crazy, guys. Like, I'm freaking amazed how many times this freaking line worked out. And it did come there way quicker than I expected. Way quicker. But yeah, healthy retrace, here. Just like for BTC. Although I think, we have to, once again, we have to each market adjust for its own levels. So we are getting this pullback, and now we may going to see, just like here, let's actually overlay. Actually, let me get out of piece, right? So just like here, actually, one sec. Sounds good, right? So we made a top here on Nasdaq. We were sort of pulling back, but look at this, right? Nasdaq kept going lower, and BTC already started to outperform, but it was underperforming ahead of it, right? It was underperforming during this upside. So yeah, you will see some of these differences, but then the market catches up. So I think, just like DXY has made that pullback, we are seeing equities to pull back too, but BTC, may just, we still have to, as I keep on reminding, we have to adjust it to the local levels, and I think this is really what is playing out here.
Yeah. Yep.
And do you remember, guys? Do you remember down here what we talked about?
Yeah.
I think this is what I said. I think we will need to head to new all-time highs. We done that, and then we will have to start creating highs after highs after highs to create that sentiment, to
Mhm.
create that soft landing narrative, to put the sideliners back into the market, to make all the hedgers close their position, right? And dude, guys, I am starting to hear potential talks about soft landing.
I've seen a lot of discussion online about, well, Powell he actually accomplished the soft landing, he
Yeah,
did it. I'm hearing a lot of discussion about that. I think
yeah,
we've got plenty of time left, but it seems like consensus amongst, I'd say the more normie crowd is, all right, well, last year sucked, or I'm sorry, now 2022 sucked, but what a year for 2023. I guess we're all good now.
yeah,
We'll see.
yeah. I mean, ooh, cheesy. This is cheesy, right?
Everybody wants to call the dragon the year of long, but the dragon is the being of cosmic duality. So I think any huge swing we have in the market is probably matched or close to it in either direction. But that's just anecdotal, right?
Look at this, by the way. Actually, I'm going to pull. This is actually some alpha share right here. Dude, like, what the fuck? How am I guys pulling you so much? I might just leave it for the next time. Okay. I'm done today.
No, I want to see it. I want to see it.
No, tomorrow.
Okay, put it in the Discord then. All right, guys, we're going to call it here. We've been going for about an hour and 40 minutes. Awesome first stream of 2024, guys. Let's see what we ended up with. 111 likes on YouTube and Twitter. I don't even know. But, guys, thank you so much for the support. What a way to kick off 2024. Couldn't be more excited for this year. If you haven't yet, please consider liking the stream. And also, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you are watching on Twitter, hit that follow button. This is Market Check, brought to you by Because Bitcoin. This is our daily live show. We are live Monday through Friday at 10:50 a.m. Eastern Time with the entire cast that you saw here today. Me, Snorlax, Jackus, Tucker, and Will's Outlook. It's basically a 2-hour-long alpha dump. We just talk price, narratives, TA, fundamentals, and have some fun along the way. It's a really great time. And again, we are live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday at 10:50 a.m. Eastern Time. So definitely consider subscribing. The reason we're able to grow so quickly is because of your guys' consistent support of what we are building here, Because Bitcoin. And it all starts with following what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. So like and subscribe and comment. Let us know what you guys are thinking and feeling about the markets, and also some feedback on the stream. But again, thank you guys so much for being here. Now, if you check out the first link in the description below, it'll take you to becausebitcoin.com/premium. You can sign up for our private Discord with the entire Because Bitcoin team. We do 2 hours a day of private live streams where we share intimate details that we don't talk about on Twitter or on YouTube, things that we're seeing in the markets, setups, and we also have active positions channels where we share behind the curtain as to how we are actually moving our money around and placing bets in these markets. So it's a very execution style and oriented Discord where we share a lot of analysis, but how do you actually capitalize on it over the long term and place bets? So it's a really great Discord. I mean, I don't think anybody out there is doing what we're doing with it. I mean, it is like, again, 2 hours a day of private voice calls with the entire team and community. It's pretty epic. It's really an elevated experience. So consider giving that a try. The price of that is $149.99 per month. Now, sometime this year, early this year, the price is going to go up significantly. And the reason is we are dropping a new product that we've been working on for quite some time. It's called the BB terminal, as in because Bitcoin terminal. Think of it as a Bloomberg terminal, but for crypto. It's an absolutely awesome product. We are so proud of how it's coming together. And if you want to not only be early to be on the beta testing team, join the Discord now. $149.99 per month. The BB terminal is included with your Discord membership. It's really going to enhance the experience even more. It's truly awesome. But also, when the price goes up significantly, when the BB terminal drops, you will be grandfathered in for life. Again, prices are going to go up significantly from $149.99 per month to, we don't exactly know yet, but it's going to be much steeper. And again, you will be grandfathered in for life at $149.99 per month as long as you do not cancel. So I would highly recommend, if it sounds interesting to you, and again, I know you haven't seen it yet, but it's pretty awesome. If you want to give that a try early and also lock in a severely and dramatically discounted price of $149.99 per month, consider signing up for the Discord right now and lock yourself in. And again, you can find the link to that below. It's becausebitcoin.com/premium. But again, thanks so much for being here, guys. I'm going to kick it over to Tommy to say a final farewell.
Man, you wouldn't even know we were just on holiday. You nailed the outro, Max. But yeah, it was so great being able to talk markets with you guys. Hopefully y'all were able to take away some actionable alpha. We dropped a lot of it. We went for about an hour and a half, hour 40 on our first show back. Just setting the tone for what's going to be a great 2024. Looking to carry over the momentum that we had into the end of the year, into the new year, guys. And we're going to be talking about all of it in our Discord, like Max was saying. But make sure to tune in for Market Check with King Wabi. Sorry, I just had a bit of a brain fart. Make sure to tune in for Market Talk with King Wabi at 4:15 to 4:30 Eastern Time. Of course, somewhat dependent on the afternoon Giga Chad call, but lately we've done a really good job of getting to that show at exactly 4:15 to 4:20, around that vicinity. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Happy New Year. We hope you all had a phenomenal Christmas holiday with your friends and family. But the markets are calling us back once again, and we are excited. We are excited for everything that they've got in store this year. Y'all have a great rest of your Wednesday, a great rest of your week, and stay safe. Thanks again.